How's it? My name is Mr. Wriggler, and this is my final session, my final rank session for the season, I think. So I recorded it. We're going to go over the games, we're going to go over the spots, talk about the meta, talk about the deck, and yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy. There's some interesting games in here, so I'm glad I recorded my entire session. So yeah, we are going to go over one of my favorite decks. I'm going to put the deck list up in a bit, but you don't want to start Darkrai, I can tell you that much. Starting Darkrai sucks. But we're going to go over how this deck runs. I'm quite familiar with it now, so I feel as though I'm quite qualified to give good insight on it. Also, why are we playing this deck? I think this particular deck has a good matchup into what the meta is right now. One of them being this Altaria Greninja. Basically, anything that runs Chinglings, you're going to have a good matchup into. Suicune, like, I know how to beat Suicune with this list. We actually have a Suicune game where it's perfectly demonstrated. So stick around for that. But I wanted to climb like a couple of 100 points just to secure my top 1000 emblem for the season. And I'm going to put up on the side here just exactly how many points you're going to need to reach top 10k, top 5k, top 1k if you're looking to get one of those. There's a guy on Twitter that puts together this formula and he's able to estimate exactly how many points you're going to need for the end of the season to hit your goals. But let's just talk about this particular spot. Starting Darkrai sucks. However, if you've got a Greninja, it does kind of make things a lot easier for you, because you're able to dish out 40 damage a turn without even attacking with between the pinging and the chinging. Well, no chinging here, but between the pinging. And yeah, I guess the other thing that I kind of wanted to talk about here is something I've noticed people talk about is like how they brick with Greninja decks. Particularly the other deck that I just went over, which was the Greninja Altaria. People are like, I always brick, always brick. Yeah, like bricking does happen. Don't get me wrong, it does happen, but it shouldn't be happening with cards like Copycat. Like, ask yourself, are you using Copycat effectively? I don't mean that like right now. Like, whenever you've got a Copycat in hand, like, always ask yourself, am I going to use this Copycat effectively? I think that might be the core reason to why people think they are bricking with this. But yeah, this is an interesting spot. Like, we've got the win condition in our hand, but we don't want to give away the time that they put down an extra basic here and are able to KO. So we can just safely retreat out, keep our Chingling in the front, and we're not at risk of being KO'd by this Mega Harmony. Next turn, we can just Cyrus up one of the Chinglings and ping it to death. Yeah, I don't know what this music is, man. It's like a Tekken workouts compilation mix. But yeah, we actually do have the win in hand. Nice little pivot around a Darkrai start. But yeah, like, I know people like hate Greninja, but Greninja is the best card in the game, in my opinion. And if you want to be playing at high level pockets, like Greninja it's going to be in a lot of the meta. So I still like a decision based deck. So like this deck still feels like you are making decisions in it. Like there, starting a Darkrai, we were able to kind of maneuver around. Yes, granted we got the Greninja, but we were able to kind of move around and pivot around. Like that last decision to retreat out and hit with Chingling, and there's still decisions. You know what I mean? Like here, we start going second at least. We start off going Absol. Now, maybe Absol wasn't the best decision because they could have put Chingling on, like it could have been a Chingling deck, and they could have like tagged my Absol, which would have been in range for the rest of the game towards a Cyrus, possibly two Cyruses. But then also it could have been a baby Absol, and then my Absol is on the bench. just being tagged by 30 damage for the rest of the game. So, regardless, we can retreat out here. Like, so this is something that I'm also thinking about, deciding. Alright, what do I want to put down here? Okay, like, it's a bit of a cope, but I don't think I want to put down my Darkrai and not have my Absol as the attacker. That being said, like, a Darkrai still would have been able to dish out a decent amount of damage. But then, when I move up my Darkrai to attack, that Absol is going to be ready to hit me. It's going to get first attack on me. I'm not going to have enough to return KO hit. So, we're going to have to rely on our Absol this game. So, that way, putting down the other Furuki minimizes their copycat value. And, yeah, like, we still get enough value, like, our value on our energy placements for our turn. So they don't get the +1 for the copycats because we did place down that Furuki. This is still not a great position at all. The cool thing is, like, we are able to trade with that Absol effectively. Like, they are not going to be able to, like, they're going to hit us for 80, right? But they can't 2-hit KO us. The only way that they win is by finding a Hydreigon and then into an Absol. But if we trade with this Absol, we win. It hits us, we hit it. It hits us, we hit it and KO it. They can't 2-hit us, we can 2-hit it. So yeah, we look into their hands. They've got a Hydreigon. We've taken away all their draw cards. So this is like looking great for us. All their draw cards are gone. They've got a Hydreigon. Like, that's all they have in their hand. And we were able to see that. But yeah, they top deck that. Now we have to pivot around, right? It was smart to, like, attack here with the Absol. Again, because we have no way of KOing it. And now we have to do the pivoting around. Didn't find our rare candy, which is unfortunate. Because those guys have been on the field for quite some time. And here we're just looking to buy extra time. Yeah, that just looks like they have a Cyrus. I don't know why they're doing all of this. They top deck their rare candy, then they top deck their Cyrus. Unfortunate, but this is the game of pockets. It's actually BS, but yeah. So, we've got the Suicune game. Now, the way you beat Suicune is you take them into deep water. I love saying that, man. But you ching them to death. Well, into... Hold on. Also want to talk about this. How often do they just start this perfect start? Like, Suicune and Didi. Now my Chinglings don't do any damage to it. Not like it does a lot, but like... So here, we're going to sequence out our drawing cards. We want to keep our copycat. Primarily because we're going to be locking them out of cards now, and that copycat value is going to increase. So we research first, and then we're going to copycat afterwards to get maximum value. And because we got the rare candy Greninja, we're going to copycat into a massively beautiful hand. Hopefully something that we can put our energy on for the first turn. So they do that annoying... Yeah, we get Mars. I don't agree with this Mars at all. Like, I think it's so dumb. But, you know, kind of works out for them in a horrible way. Then again, we just draw into our Greninja. Nothing has changed. They're down on Mars. And, like, them being down on Mars is huge. I don't know when exactly the best time is to Mars. But it's certainly not now. And yes, we found our Absol. Something to put down in energy on our first energy placement is very important with this deck. And we found the best card to do it with. And we can start working them down. Pinging them would have been irrelevant because they're just in DD, but pinging them with a Chingling puts them minus 10 damage net with the NDD heal. And they drop another Suicune. Kind of annoying. But and a Furuki. Very annoying. But we got a red card. And the thing is about red card with this particular matchup is you want to wait until the last possible moment to be able to red card. Again, you want to drag them into deep waters. Make sure they get the biggest hand possible. Make sure that they use all their researchers. And then red card them. And we are working through our deck quite nicely. Now, if this is a Chingling, we can drag them even further into deep waters. Maybe not like the best plan. Alright, so here, decision. Alright, do we put down this other Froakie? Yes, we've got the Rare Candy and Greninja, but even if we didn't, right? Would we still do it? And the answer is yes, because we're very likely to be able to draw into our other research, which will be able to find us our other Greninja. We red card now to nuke their hand to 3 cards, and yeah, we take away their draw card. I don't know why they're running red card like copycat. I think it's this guy's just all over the place. 2 capes and a copycat. Don't know if I agree. But yeah, he's kind of cooked because we evolve into our Greninja. We can double ping the Froakie. If they had Irida, we would have taken the Irida because we need to make sure that we can KO the following turn. And yeah, we just win with a double Greninja. So yeah, that's what I mean, like cool, interesting, like decision spots. And luckily we start off Chingling this game into a zone. So another zone, right? These are very, very annoying. They're all over the ladder. So a lot of decks are kind of shut out. It messes the meta up when people start playing zones. But yeah, also something that I've noticed with zones, they always manage to get their bloody Magnemites on turn 1 into Magnetons turn 2. So the way that we win is by just pinging and chinging. Ideally to take out their zones before there are zones. And yeah, like that guy almost aggressively put down his Magneton. So yeah, this is kind of gets into cooked range. They've got 1 card left. It would have been ideal if we picked up a rare candy there because we got Cyrus. We could have taken out that Magneton right now. And then yeah, the following turn just be able to start doing 30 damage with, 20 damage with to the Oricorio. But yeah, like we're gonna lose on Chingling, so we put down the other one so that we can put that into the active when it gets carried. And yeah, research, man, cool. Not really looking good for us. A Darkrai would be good. A Froakie, I guess, is like okay if we are able to draw into a single one of our draw cards. We haven't picked up a research or a copycat, and then this is where the deck kind of bricks in quotation marks. Is like when you're unable to find your draw cards, which you really need. And yeah, he makes a zone which you're never going to be able to KO because he just runs 2 Cyruses. Most of them run 2 Cyruses now. And look at this, bro. I got a jump scare when I saw this because something that I'd actually been experimenting with was a daycare deck. And I was like, I think being able just to ping with the Crobat seems like it would be really good. And hitting for 160 also seems like it would be really good. With Darkrai, 180 damage. Throw a red in there. 200 damage. 1 hit KO an Altaria if you guard roll it. So I experimented with it myself, but you lose 2 Greninjas, you lose 2 Suicunes, and that's a big part of the meta share right now. But I do like the list. They do start badly, as bad as it's gonna get for these guys, for them starting Darkrai. So maybe you do want to run a contingency plan. Here you want to save the spot for a Froakie. I know, like maybe putting down the Absol is better for the long run, but because of my bench setup right now, it's like I need that spot for a Froakie. I need to be able to Greninja and Cyrus something up. So we keep that spot open. They get a mega copycat, which honestly can save them the game at this point. And they play Rocky Helmets, which I guess makes sense if you're playing a Chingling version and not a ramp version of this deck. So yeah, we can afford to take 20 damage from the Rocky Helmet with our Chingling because it's full HP. And now this Arceus is in range. We can't attack with our Darkrai because it'll put our Darkrai into range of that other Arceus. But now, because they retreated out, they made such a big mistake doing that, in my opinion. I don't know, actually. I think they were screwed from the beginning, but yeah, we can just Cyrus up that guy. Now they're 2 energies behind. And yeah, we item locked, so that's the reason why we couldn't evolve into our Greninja. But yeah, we're able to KO this guy now. Next turn, evolve into our Greninja and ping that Chingling for the win. This game's locked up. Kind of a scary deck. Again, like, I think there might be... Like, Arceus is not dead. Arceus is not dead. It's just like the way the meta is right now, it's just not favored into them. And I think maybe a Giant Cape might be... Actually, I don't know, man. If you're going to play this deck, I don't know. I think I would have to experiment before I make any further commentary on it. Yeah. We could have evolved. We could have Cyrus. But yeah, demonstrating our 2 Cyruses. That's why I also like 2 Cyruses. I did run other versions to like X speed, but 2 Cyruses is just so important in this meta. There's a lot of Absol running around and they can take away your Cyrus and then that's it, you know. So have 2. It does actually come in handy a little bit later. Right, we are starting... I was going to say we're starting Darkrai again. I don't know if I remember this game. But we're playing against an Altaria. Right, where do we put the Rocky Helmet? Always a very important decision. But because they're going second, they're going to have energy on the Ndidi, which is going to be able to KO my Chingling the following turn. So the move is to put it on the Froakie because they can retreat out and put in a Chingling. Now, the other thing that I haven't done is drop my Darkrai. Typically, I actually do this a few times in the session where, like, I hold my energy attacker, like whether it be the Absol or the Darkrai, just to kind of give that surprise factor because they're going to play around that they aren't going to be able to, yeah, they aren't getting hit with this Darkrai. And what am I doing? I guess putting the energy on the Froakie doesn't hurt. We do take the KO. And yeah, they have to put up the Chingling, I guess, because if they put up the Jirachi, they have to commit the energy to it, and then where do they start pinging? We are able to put our energy on the Absol. Unless they find a Swablu, like they're going to be an energy behind on that whole ordeal. But here, we can drop the Darkrai, put an energy on it, ping for the KO. The following turn, they have to move in Jirachi, right? The following turn, be able to ping the Jirachi, not attack, but ping it, and then no matter what they put in after that, we were able to Cyrus the Jirachi and win. So we planned that whole thing out nicely with the Darkrai. Starting Darkrai! Oh my goodness, how many times does this happen? But yeah, we've got the Greninja, and as we've seen, Greninja and Darkrai starting is actually really good. Yeah, you're doing 40 damage without any attacking. And 40 plus 40 is 80, which is able to KO this fur thing. Luckily, they haven't put down any scary Pokemon. Torchics. Now we start pinging with our Greninja and our Darkrai. 40 damage this turn. 40 damage next turn, which is a KO. So he has to bend something right now. And I don't know if you guys see this, but next turn we're going to be able to retreat out with our Darkrai. Which is very, very important because we want to be able to item lock them with Chingling. Especially now because they've put in a Torchic. Like, maybe some people would keep the 2 energy on the Darkrai and be ready to attack the following turn. But if you look at this board, like, what are they going to do with just a Torchic against my Chingling? Like, we're going to item lock them and then they're screwed. We just retreat out and item lock them. Next turn we do 50 damage. A very important number that you want to be able to know is Chingling plus the 2 pings. The Chingling ping combo is 50 damage. That Torchic is exactly 50 HP. So they even if they have Pokeballs, they can't put it down. So yeah, GG, well played. And wouldn't you believe it, huh? Wouldn't you believe it? Another Darkrai start. But as you've seen, we've actually won all of our Darkrai starts. But this is more like a guard start Suicune than anything. Like, look at this. Bro, are you actually kidding me? So this is just generally a concede. Insta concede, go next. But I said to myself, I'm going to play them through. All of my games today. Previous sessions, I'm conceding way too early because I'm like a little bit emotional or like, you know, I don't see the line. But, you know, well, whatever. We're just going to play this one out. But yeah, this is just a concede, man. Especially now that especially because we don't find our Greninja. We get Marsed on top of it. Dude, you're joking. Yeah. I looked at the statistics and it was like 1.4% chance of starting Darkrai 3. What is it? 4 out of... How many? 4 games. 4 games out of the... Yeah, this is it. We started Darkrai again. I put up the stats here. 2.3%. Insane! If we find a Froakie though, we are in business. But we do not. Yeah, we started Darkrai 4 out of the games that we've played. Majority. Just really, really unfortunate. And we draw into research and research, which is actually a bit of a brick in my opinion. Because we needed cards to put down on the board. But yeah, man, like this guy just gets a fat copycat. And that's how tools are good with the copycat. Like you want to be able to play as many cards as you can and then copycats. That's, I think, how you extract the most value out of your copycats. How to use it effectively. Remember what I said earlier, like, how am I going to use this copycat effectively? And yeah, we are just bricking, man. We put down both Froakies, because in the cope chance that we start, that we get both Greninjas, we can KO this Torchic. But yeah, they just evolve into Blaziken and they're able to KO and sweep. Not just that. Wait for it. They have both Blazikens. Yep. Crazy. So GG, well done on high rolling. Thank God we get a normal start here. And they just get an unfortunate one with Darkrai. I still can't believe that Blaziken game, man. Anyway, so this is a Darkrai Magnezone game, I believe. It's an interesting game. Because we have to, again, make some cool decisions. We get an awesome copycat, which gives us a Greninja, but we need to save that other bench slot for something we can put our energy on. But yeah, next turn we're going to be able to get a fat copycat. Because we were able to evolve and then copycat. Yeah, we're looking for the Absol primarily. Well, hopefully. Because we want to be able to KO that Magneton next turn. Before it becomes a Magneton. Typically, that's the line that you want to go, like with... Alright, so where do we ping? We ping the Darkrai to bring it down to 100 HP so that it is one-shot KO'able with our Absol and Greninja. We're really hoping for not an evolution here, but yeah, of course they find it. And now we have a decision. Now it's like actually a decision, dude. Like, where are we going to... What are we going to ping? Like, what are we going to KO here? Like, do we KO the Darkrai or do we KO the Magneton before it becomes Magneton? Bear in mind, Magneton can 2-hit KO us. They make the things a little bit difficult for us by putting the cape on. And we've got the red card, which is like, okay, do we take away the chance? Like, what do we do here? What do we do here? Do we KO the Magneton or do we KO the Darkrai? And I think I make a bit of a mistake here. So we research and we find out the Greninja. Are we able to KO this Darkrai now? And that red card is really going to be like our saving, like our Hail Mary, really. Because if we go into the zone, we're going to have to really just like pray that this is the zone and Cyrus. We see that they've got the zone. They get first attack with the zone onto us. And we have to hope that that wasn't a Cyrus that they just picked up. If they pick Cyrus up in the next 2 turns, we lose. But because we were able to put so much damage on the board without attacking, we can kind of pivot around here. Like, the zone does not KO the Greninja. Not this zone. It can KO the other with the other zone. Can KO Greninja with the other zone. But yeah, we're going to put 40 damage on the board. Next turn we can attack with 120 damage with when retreating this Greninja out. And we can win. So provided they just don't have a Cyrus, we can win here. So a bit of a weird game. I don't know if I played it correctly, but being able to find out draw cards and Greninjas, really, really cool. Like, you'll be surprised how often you get up 2 Greninjas. It happens often. So yeah. I believe this is the penultimate game. And it's the mirror. Starting Absol. So I'll give you a bit of a spoiler. We win this game. But you'll see how almost like hopeless it actually seems. But we're able to pivot around, make some good decisions, and actually turn this game around. The first bit of like radar moment is look at our hand size. We've got absolutely nothing. Talk about brick. This is a brick, man. We've got nothing, and they're able to start putting damage on the board. We need to thin out our hand desperately, man. So, red card to get that Greninja out of the way. This guy, so that we are Chingling. If Chingling hits us, we can just deal with that really well. And Absol is ready to attack. The thing is, like, if we KO this Froakie, right? This Darkrai is very likely going to be able to attack into us and KO us. They do manage to find a copycat, which is so huge for them. Like, they've just drawn out most of their deck already. We aren't item locking them with Chingling, so we cannot attack here. Like, if we attack, we lose. Really, yeah. Thank God we found a basic. And we're not item locked. And now we can go into our item lock, which is really, yeah, very, very important right now. Especially if they're nearing towards the end of the deck. And I do think they made a bit of a mistake with putting down 2 Chinglings. I think maybe they thought I was going to attack and KO this Froakie. But yeah, that just would have been a bad decision. Okay, they get a Frogadier, which certainly means next turn they have a Greninja. And we are still bricking with our hand. Again, we cannot go in and attack with that. Yeah, we're going to need to KO this Frogadier. Hopefully take out a Cyrus. Because that's how they win, right? But they've got a big enough hand for that to be very likely. So we KO. Take our first point and take the Cyrus. Copycats, Mars. They've got Mars. That's important to know for later on. Trust me. I'm ready to concede. Look at that. Don't concede, Mr. Wriggler. Because that's your real name. Yeah, he gets another fat copycat. Very likely going to be able to find another Greninja. Again, like, you kind of want to prioritize. He kind of screwed himself by putting 2 Chinglings on the board. And yeah, like, provided he doesn't have a Cyrus, there is still hope. There is still hope. We're just going to play it out. It's very likely that they have Cyruses here. Like, here, we just have to, like, red card ourselves. Essentially just, like, punish our own hand. Because we are just drawing so badly. We do manage to get some saving grace. Finding the other Chingling is possibly the best card in the deck for us. Possibly the best card in the deck. Now we can kind of, like, I guess go on the Copium line and start, like, working down this Darkrai into range of something. Even though our Absol is kind of ready to attack. It's only going to do 80 damage. No, I'm just conceding instead in case of the Cyrus. But this is where I think, oh, I can actually win this game. We didn't put the other Chingling in because then you can take care of 2 points by pinging, KOing it, and then attacking my other Chingling, getting up 2 points. But here, like, they on the back pedal now. We can get a fat copycat of us. But remember, they have a Mars, so that was a misplay. I should never have copycatted there. Because we're essentially taking a point here, and we're going to get Mars. Like, I guess what they can do is put in an Absol, like, but we're getting Mars to 1 card. Like, we could have saved the copycats and guaranteed us to find a Greninja the following turn. And this is where I remember, oh damn it, they've got Mars, bro. Of course I'm getting Mars. But yeah, thank goodness we draw into our other Cyrus because we run 2. Copycat also would have helped us there. So, yeah. W. Oh, look at this failure of a mistake. I ping, and then I Cyrus. And I'm realizing, oh my goodness, I'm going to be 20 damage short now because I pinged the bloody Absol. But the good thing is this thing's got a 2 retreat cost, right? So there's nothing on the board that they can KO with the Greninja. But like, I nearly threw there, and that was the sign for me to go, oh, okay, I'm actually not playing like at my best at anymore. And I took a break. I think I played one more game after this. But yeah, we won. And yeah, we got a pretty decent climb. By the way, I'm going to put in the points for how many you need to get to the threshold for 1k, 5k, and top 10k if you're interested. We're going second. We want to be able to Chingling them to death. And like, I have a decision again. Like, we don't need to bench anything right now. Even though we've got our 2 attackers in our hand, we don't need to bench anything. We're going to item lock them. They can't red card us. They don't run Mars. So a Giovanni screws us, but like, I doubt they run it. And like, next turn, provided we draw into Greninja, we can KO this Dino. So I wanted to attach the energy. If we show him the Darkrai, he's very likely going to put the energy on the Absol. But now he's attached this energy, committed to the energy, right? We're going to be able to KO this guy with our... We don't even need a Greninja because of the Rocky Helmet damage. But we're going to be able to do some serious damage now with the Chings, the Pings, and the Darkrai. And we give them a little surprise. And we're going to just be able to run them over with that Ching and Ping combo after that. So there we go. GG's, man. I hope you guys enjoyed. And yeah, good luck with your climbs. We'll see you guys when the trailer drops. I'll announce the winner for the giveaway too. Alright guys. Peace out. Cheers.